All right, season of the Malignant coming soon. We have 2 days before the season starts. We just went over the season one patch notes with all the balance changes and the new addition to the game. Let's go over the Malignant Hearts now. Uh, so yeah, we have four types of Malignant Hearts. We have the Vicious Heart, Brutal Heart, Devious Heart, and Wrathful Heart. Superpowers. Crazy. Drops from Wrathful Malignant Monsters. I can't wait to see what we have in store for those. See how they're gonna change how the game plays. So let's start with the general here and the Picanha. This is the I think that's what it's called, right? This is the one that we saw, I believe, with the leak that they did during the developers discussion, right? Strikes generally charge the enemy for 0.75 to 2.5 seconds, causing lightning. This looks pretty good. I mean, how? So that's 100%. I assume that's 100% chance to electrically charge them with the critical strike. So I wonder how good that'll work with. I'm thinking lightning strike as a druid, lightning storm, right? Lightning storm or like maybe even melee build. No, I think Lightning Storm would actually be really good with this build, I think. But I don't know how that damage scales though. I mean, 68 to 136 lightning damage. I wonder where it's picking that up from that number. I assume that's base damage. Which will be really good because you can actually have fulminate, right? You can have fulminate glyph and spirit glyph now that they changed spirit. Because I believe Spirit now does critical strike damage instead of just what do you call this? Critical strike damage for core. I think it applies for all sorts of damage now. So that'll be really good. I'm excited to see how that plays. 5 seconds while above 60%. Interesting. That's interesting. Do you have about 10 to 20% increase damage on core skills every 5 seconds. So every 5 seconds you get a buff of 10 to 20% increased damage. I wonder how long the duration of this buff is. But you gotta be above 60% health though. Okay, interesting. This would be really good with like Lilith Tornado, I assume. Dude, this is solid. You gain 40 to 60% critical strike damage, but your non-critical strikes deal 20 to 15%. I can see this working really well with Grizzly Rage, I think. Percent barrier generation. Well, you have an active barrier. I don't know if this will be any good for Earth and Bulwark. Probably not, especially if you want to keep your health at the lowest. 20% of incoming damage. So 150 and explodes dealing what? That's crazy. Percent of incoming damage is suppressed when you use a defensive. Whoa, that that's like I feel like this would be really good with Earth and Bulwark. You have 10 to 20% incoming damage being being suppressed, and on top of that, you have that suppressed damage amplified by 250 and it explodes. It's literally a bulwark. This is like an earthen bulwark. in the form of Malignant Heart. That's interesting. It's 20% for a single head. Okay. Another cheat death. Research. Pretty cool. Gain increased resource gen. I don't know if you would use that for druid. I don't know. Interesting. How would you use this? I don't know. Like you get like pretty good. I guess if this scales, this is considered pretty high once it scales with your weapon because this is 68 to 136. This is about 10x, right? 10x the damage of this. But it only applies when you get crowd control effect. And let's say you prop Grizzly or Earthen Bulwark. After spending 150, turn your next stunned enemy. I don't know. I don't know. This could be pretty good with the legendary aspect that increases your damage whenever to stunned enemies. But other than that, I don't see this working. Cycle through malignant bonuses. Oh, this one's very interesting. The Malignant Pack. This one is super interesting. Cycle through a Malignant bonus for every 20 kills. Vicious is gain 20 attack speed. Or Devious, Core, and Basic skills have 15% chance to fully restore. Brutal. Every 21 seconds, gain a barrier absorbing 85 to 102 damage. That is crazy. Like you can use this. Like you could this is the Malignant Heart to use against like bosses like Uber Lilith, let's say, right? Because what you could do is you could kill 20 because it says right here every 20 kills, right? So if you kill 20 enemies and you stop there and you don't kill anymore, right? You'll gain basically permanent bonus, right? For the remainder of the time you actually don't kill any monsters, right? You can either have vicious or devious. I don't know I don't know if you would want to use a brutal one, but yeah, that would be cool. Creeping Death, another super. Increased by 30 to 40% for each different on a target. Monsters and staggered. Bosses instead. Whoa. So this is this is pretty cool for poison, right? Because when you use poison creeper, you immobilize the targets. So that's an extra 30% to your poison, right? That's an extra 30%. Yeah, extra 30 to 40% on your poison damage. Because you end up because when you use poison creeper you get you immobilize the enemies. That's interesting because I wonder if you could use changeling aspect to pop that poison to consume that poison with a werebear skill. Interesting. The barber. Also has current damage so to target then Whoa. This one is crazy. I think this one's the craziest yet. Critical strikes and all subsequent damage within 2 to 4 seconds is absorbed by your target. Then the absorbed damage erupts onto surrounding enemies. That's crazy. Stored damage is increased by 10% per second. Imagine the damage that you do with Grizzly Rage, right? You're critting like 1 million or more with your tornadoes, and every single one of those critical gets absorbed by the enemy, right? And then explodes in one hit. And it deals damage to surrounding enemies. Imagine how big your damage is, right? Because it absorbs it for 4 seconds. How many crits do you do with a tornado, right? With your tornado build for 4 seconds. And the good thing is, I actually just tried. As you guys saw earlier, I just tried the tornado build, and it is still viable even post patch, right? Actually, the tornado. I think the only thing that affected the build is the fact that your Grizzly Rage will only give you 6 second unstoppable. That's the only thing that changed, but the damage is still really good. So that's a big buff for a tornado build. Focus Rage. I don't know much about the other classes, but let's go through these as well. Focus Rage, running 100 to 63 within 2 seconds. Non basics, critical strike chance. That's pretty good. That's a 30% increased critical strike chance, basically. But what would you use it on? Like, below 40 to 60% life, you receive 50 to 60 more from all sources. Skills have a 20 to 30% chance to knock down all enemies. Ooh, this is crazy. This would be really good for PvP. This would be really good for PvP because that knockdown is pretty crazy. You get stuck in animation when you get knocked down. And it's for 1.25 seconds. You can literally cannot do anything about it. You pop a bulwark and it does you pop unstoppable and it's still you're still knocked down. So I think that'd be a really good one for PvP. Ignoring pain. Doing damage has a 5 to 15% chance of being ignored. That's pretty cool. Good defensive skill, I guess, right? 5 to 15% chance. So is it? I wonder if it's 15% chance. Do you level it up, or once you get to like tier 4? I wonder. I wonder how that is. Or do you have to roll for a better number? The Moon Rage. This defense does have a 5% chance to summon a wolf companion to your side for 20 to 30 seconds. In addition, gain +3 to wolves. Now the question is, will the wolves will the AI actually be useful, right? Because one of the problems with wolves is the fact that the wolves are extremely useless when it comes to the passive, and even the active version of your wolves, it's yeah, it's not very good, right? It doesn't really protect you or anyway in any way. It hits pretty low, and the AI is just it's it's not good at all. But let's see. I mean, hopefully they reworked how the passive works or how your wolf skill works. See, maybe we could do a companion build finally. Agitated winds or brutal defensive. 8 to 3. Close enemies automatic. Cast a cyclone. Mm, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I rarely use Cyclone armor. I don't really use it as much. I mean, it's got like that. It's got a pretty good DR, right? That's about it. And that damage reduction only procs every 20 seconds or something. Explorable force. 30 to 50 distant enemies are pulled toward. Oh, I like this one. I like this one. So if you have your, let's say you have your Grizzly Rage on, the whole like if when you have your Grizzly Rage on, you pull 30 to 50 distant enemies towards you. That's pretty cool. Makes your farming a lot faster, right? Makes your speed farming a lot faster. We're gonna find out exactly how what build we're gonna be running in the future, especially with the new unique items, right? That came, where debilitating roar and blood howl now deals damage to poison enemies, and you also have the other legendary aspect that gives your poison creeper landslide. So we're gonna see how that works. It's gonna be interesting. Constrained beast. When you're hit. Ooh, what is this? 40 to 60% chance to automatically activate Grizzly Rage for 3 seconds. Earlier when we were going through the patch notes, I was thinking, man, what a big nerf to the Grizzly Rage, making your unstoppable only last for 6 seconds, right? For your first 6 seconds. But now I understand why they did it, right? It's because after that 6 seconds of getting on Grizzly Rage, you have a chance to get stunned, freeze, or knockdown. I wonder if this 3 seconds of your Grizzly Rage applies to your current Grizzly Rage already. I wonder. Or even then, it actually would help you out with your Grizzly Rage uptime. But that's a really, really good, really, really solid Malignant Heart effect. I like that. That's a game changer. But the only thing I don't like about this is the fact that I feel like now we're forced to use Grizzly Rage, right? Because Grizzly Rage is actually really, really good as far as damage output is concerned. And now the uptime is extended. Let's see. The Necromancer. Sacrilegious. Fucking their corpse automatically activates and every second, dealing 40. It's unequipped corpse skill. That's interesting. I don't think there's any corpse skill build going on, are there? I'm not very sure. Decrepit aura. Magic curses surrounding enemies with decrepify. 5 to 10 seconds. That's cool. Frozen terror. 10% chance, up to 10 to 20% chance of inflict. Show 20 seconds. I'm not a big fan of anything lucky hit. I I I don't know. It's the fact that it's up to 10 to 20%. It's like I don't know. I feel like it's such a low chance of getting that lucky hit to proc anyways. The Great Feast. Each minion drains 1 to 2 essence per second. Ooh, interesting. Very interesting. Looks like we're gonna have a summoner or a minion necromancer build finally, right? Because I don't know if you're ever. I wonder how this works, right? I wonder what happens when you run out of essence. Will you still keep that 75 increased damage? Because basically you're regenerating your essence, but you're also being drained of that essence, right? So I feel like you're constantly gonna have 50 to 75% increased damage on your minions, right? But that sounds really strong. I like that. I like that. I wish Druid gets, I wish Druid got their companion skills reworked, because otherwise, man, it's terrible. Anyways, Rogue cluster ammunition. Lucky hit, 20% chance to launch 3 stun grenade. Pretty cool, but again, lucky hit, right? You gotta have those lucky hit gear on you. I don't know if people would actually use this. I'm not familiar with the Rogue, but I don't know if you have high lucky hit skills with rogues. Trickery. You use those yeah. Seconds dealing 680, 1020 shadow damage. Cannot occur more than one clip shot. Lucky hit out 20 to 40% chance for your cutthroat skill low. 40% for 3 seconds. Even or 5 to 15% chance to apply all imbued. 40% of normal. That's pretty cool. Especially for the poison ones, right? For the poison rogue build, 40 to 50% of normal potency. That's an increased damage, right? This is harsh. You deal damage when you do. In spell breaking, brutal defense after taking elemental damage, gain 20 to 40% resistance to the element. I don't know if resistance is any good in this game currently. I feel like elemental resistance is not really the best, right? That's why a lot of people just that's why we always just go for higher HP, higher DR and armor. Crowd control effect, there's a 20 to 40% chance that the same enemy and enemies around you are also afflicted by the same. This is literally the same. There's a legendary aspect that literally the same thing. That's kind of weird. Core skills that launch a projectile and consume all your mana. Damage. That's that's cool. But I feel like he's by 3 to 5%. Is that doesn't seem like a lot, right? I don't know. We're gonna have to see how these builds or these malignant hearts change the game. I'm still gonna be going with I'm still gonna be playing a druid. Um, even with the changes that they've made for season one, I don't think I'm gonna be switching to a different character. I'm gonna focus on druid, and then maybe in the future, like I did for necromancer, I'm gonna go and switch over. But druids for sure getting some some pretty good changes. I have no complaints at all, right? Aside from the 6 second unstoppable for the grizzly rage, which actually doesn't change the game as much, right? Because of the new malignant heart that we're getting.